Alright, so today we're doing 5 things that I love about the Can-Am X3. And number 1 is the easiest. It's the power, baby. So the 2018s came with 172 horsepower. 2019s are the same. 2020s are actually even more at 195. And there's so much support from the aftermarket companies such as Evolution Power Sports, Wayland Performance, Packard Performance, and Vivid Racing. There's big turbo kits. These cars are the cream of the crop when it comes to performance. Seriously.
And we say bye-bye.
So the cars are definitely quick and you definitely don't have to worry about being left behind. Alright, so the second thing I love about the Can-Am.
Look, I just flipped the switch.
So as I was saying, thing two that I like about the Can-Am is that it's very spacious. There's a lot of leg room. You don't bump into each other when you're going on rough rides, so whoops and whatnot. There's a lot of room in the second row, good enough for a toddler. We're able to add a bumper seat to this one, making it a 5-seater. Comes with a 5-point harness that I think makes the vehicle that much safer. And there's just a lot of overall room in the back.
There you go again with your annoying games. Damn it.
Gay!
Now I'm gonna squeeze this one in between number 2 and number 3. This is 2.5. So on these Can-Am X3s from the factory, they come with a cage, and we all know the aftermarket cages are way better, but the stock cages aren't always the worst. And I think Can-Am, along with maybe Double X, Speed UTV, they have the best cages from the factory. A lot of people say, well, the cages just fold. Well, I've seen a lot of accidents. When I was first putting aftermarket parts on this car, I wanted to do a cage, but I held off because all the videos that I would see, the car would roll pretty badly and the cage was tweaked, but it wouldn't just cave in. I know the Razors do have that reputation. They're a lot better now on the XP Pro. So unless you plan to pancake off of a cliff onto the roof, then you shouldn't have to worry that much. From the factory, this cage is actually pretty safe. The third thing on my list has got to be the suspension. So this car is outfitted with shock therapy front and back, Super ATV front arms, shock therapy tie rods, and then ZRP radius rod in the back. So this car is definitely not stock when it comes to the suspension, but the car can definitely take a hit and go over rough terrain even in stock form. So if you have an X3, you know what I'm talking about. If you have a Razor, you're in the same league, but for sure the Can-Am X3 is a beast. Being that it's 72 inches wide and extremely long, being the 4-seater, this thing is awesome over the whoops. Plenty of travel when you're going over jumps and going over rough terrain, but since I love the whoops, that's where I go. That's the first thing I do, and this thing hauls ass. I'm talking about 65, sometimes 70 miles an hour over the whoops, and this thing just glides over them. So definitely the third thing I love about these cars is the suspension. Now the fourth thing I love about the Can-Am X3, doesn't come with the car, but you can add it to any X3 or Razor for that matter, and that's the stereo system. I have Rockford Fosgate Stage 5 on my Can-Am X3, and it sounds amazing. The kids and my wife will be in the back. She'll be playing DJ, we'll be bumping tunes, going over the hills, not necessarily going hauling ass, but just cruising, having a good time, and it's really just a party on wheels, a great time with the family, and that's the one thing I love. Spend time with the family, bumping music, and just having no cares about, you know, reality, which I wish I could do right now because I'm really tired of all this COVID crap. So let me play a song for you guys and let me know what you guys think.
Look, I just flipped the switch. Flip. I don't know nobody else that's doing this. Body.
And the fifth and last reason, and the reason I bought the car in the first place, because I knew nothing about Can-Ams, Razors, and Yamahas, was the looks. The looks caught my eye. This car to me is still, to this day, the best UTV on the market when it comes to looks. I love the LEDs. I love the way the car looks from the side profile, from the back profile, that ass. From the front, I love the way the car looks when you outfit it with a bumper. It's a menacing look, very futuristic, not very traditional. Most of the other cars have, like, you know, big bulky fenders. The front end is a lot more square. This one's not. This one's completely different. To this day, I don't think there's any car on the market that looks like this car. There's a lot of cars out there that just look amazing. They just put the graphics on there. It looks a lot more complete, and you really don't have to do much. So you could buy this car bone stock from the factory, like I did with mine, and fall in love with it just because it looks amazing. So I know I have a bumper on here. I know I have the aftermarket doors, the cage. A lot of the stuff is different, but even before I did any of this, I love the car. The car looked amazing. Even the factory doors to me are great. And to add to the looks, these lights look amazing at night. I have looked into actually getting RGB Bluetooth lights for this. They're about 200 bucks. You know, stay tuned, subscribe to the channel. Eventually, I know right now it's kind of hard because of COVID. I don't got the funds for that right now. I'm spending it on other stuff. But for sure, I'm gonna end up putting those RGB. I think that would look really cool if it matched with the whips. So here's some honorable mentions when it comes to this car, and this is not gonna apply to the Can-Am specifically, but to all UTVs, whether you have a Razor, a Textron, any car, Can-Am. It's the aftermarket parts. The aftermarket companies make a lot of cool parts for these cars that make it more reliable, perform harder, safer when it comes to cages, 5-point harnesses, all sorts of things. It's endless. It's definitely a money pit, but it's definitely worth it, and it puts a smile on my face when I put a new part on the car and it performs the way I would like that part to perform. So definitely for the UTV market, there's a lot of choices out there for aftermarket components, and that's another honorable mention. All right, so that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I know things are rough out there right now. A lot of people are losing their jobs, they're getting laid off, they're on unemployment, and the healthcare system, I know, is pretty taxed. If you go to a hospital, you know, everyone is booked up. It's really tough out there. We need to support one another. Small businesses are closing. Large businesses are having a hard time themselves, and other employees are struggling as well. I know for me, definitely my hours got shortened a little bit, and there's not a lot of work out there. The auto industry is kind of at a standstill. Customers do need their car service, but very few are coming in. And for everybody, we're all struggling, and we're gonna get through this. I have the feeling that when summer comes around and, you know, we get the 110-degree weather, at least out here in California, things will look up. But for everybody in the States, for everybody in the world, we just gotta, you know, keep pushing, be safe, you know, wear a mask, you know, let's help not, you know, protect yourselves, but also protect other people by not spreading this disease, because you may have it and you might not even know it. So I'm not an expert, I ain't a doctor. I only do what my wife tells me.
Whips pussy.
So anyways, that's it. I did order my wrap for my car, so look out for that video hopefully soon, and I'll see you guys next time.